It's my favorite time of year. So it's pruning season and it's time to get, well, these guys pruned up. I got some new toys, got a pair of loppers, and I have sung the praises of the pruning saw, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Just in case, I've also got just plain old pruning shears too, so. All right, once again, it's a cold, windy day, but this time I actually put the microphone on.
I can break through walls, I just can't.
That's fine.
Get this.
So a few things I've been learning over the winter, and it's one mistake that I think I've been making year after year, and that is you want to avoid removing more than about 30% of this tree. Well, as you can see, I've probably broken that rule, so I'm trying to figure out if I want to break that rule one more time or not. If I break the rule, then I would have to really come back here in the summer and do probably a lot of pruning as summer pruning, and if I follow the rule, then I may not have to do so much. So we'll figure that out as we go along. A few things that I've been learning is, number one, I don't want to necessarily be afraid of these water sprouts so much. I want to cut them off as necessary, but I don't want to cut them off to spite them.
Never cut off your nose to spite your face.
Because these water sprouts will eventually give me fruit. Those of you who know your stuff and you're watching this will kind of know that this whole tree is kind of screwed up. I'm hoping really to correct that over time. I want to try and make this a much more open tree. It's just going to take a while. All right, so let's see what we can do with this jumbled mess over here. First cut with the saw. Here we go. Heh, almost. Come on. Ah. Well, that was one for the pruning shears. This whole branch right here, this one's gonna go. How do the guys on TV do this? There we go. That's it. So then these guys right here, this is fruit, or at least it can be if I let it be. This needs to come off. I think that whole stump of a branch is going to come off too. So I'm just going to cut this off willy-nilly right here. Oh, good. Yeah, let's just poke holes in the tree. So now it's time for the loppers. So these are some ratcheting loppers. Hopefully you can see them. Open them up, and that's going to cut this guy real nice. Okay, that should do it. Here we go. Yeah, that should do it. These were a game changer. I love these loppers. I want this. This wants to go away. That'll make this make it easier to get back here once it comes time. Okay, again, I don't want to go too close. All right, so that was a pretty drastic cut, and you can see I'm already using up a lot of my 30%, so it's possible I'm going to go over with this.
Robert is over.
But I mean, with pruning trees, sometimes you just got to make these choices. So then this should give me some fruit. So I don't think I want to get rid of this one. And this one may eventually give me some fruit, so I don't want to get rid of all of this one either. Let's try pruning this guy nice and high. But we'll try this. I've got a bud headed away from the tree, so we'll cut that off. All right, I'll come back if there's anything more interesting. So here's a good example of, I didn't make this cut right here, and so it's just not healing properly. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this off right down here. You see there? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that whole thing off right down here so that it can heal properly. But the nice thing is that all of this right here that's going to be exposed by that to sunlight, these are all fruiting buds right back here. So I'm taking off a lot of material, but I'm also exposing a lot of fruiting buds to sunlight. So try this saw. I'm starting to get the hang of it. And as soon as I say that, I have problems. Come on. Let's see if we can get this. Come on. Just give it to me today. There we go. That got it. So yeah, I'm pretty much going to take off more than 30%. On this trip, so we're going to deal with a lot of summer pruning. All the other trees are small enough that I'm not going to have to deal with that so much. So I think I've given you enough information. I'm going to just stop talking at you and get this guy finished up. And
what are you waiting for? Do it!
so here's one of my dilemmas. Hi, Shadow. This big branch going up just like that, okay? That one right there. That branch, if I took that whole thing off, yeah, I would be topping it, okay? That's a big risk, and I understand the risks involved. The reward is that I open up the whole tree and it becomes an open system apple tree as opposed to this pyramid that it is currently. It gets rid of all these high branches up here that are almost impossible to pick. But again, I would be removing a lot of this tree, and the tree will freak out in the summertime and want to put on a lot more branches. The question is, am I willing to prune those away during the summer and make up for a lot of that freak out growth? Okay, so I made up my mind. One of the things I want to do with this channel is experiment and try different things and see what the results are. I don't really have any sort of attachment to this tree. It was here when we bought the house, and it's just some no-name apple. I've tried to bring it back under control the last few years. It's gone from being almost 15 feet tall to not, I think it's not even 10 feet tall now. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take off that section. I understand those who are sitting there going, no! It's okay. As we go through the season, we're all gonna see what happens when I take that down. So, if you're looking at that for your own yard, you can, maybe if you're feeling a little bit more patient than I am, just chill for this season and watch what happens to this tree. after I make this fairly drastic cut. It's going to come off somewhere around here, and there ain't nothing fancy about this. It's just a bow saw. No, it's not going to come down on my head. Okay, maybe it might come down on my head. To come at this from a different angle. I wonder if I can use the pruning saw to get the rest of this. Let's see if it'll cooperate. This might come down on your head. Oh, there it is. It's off. Oh yeah, that's a lot of branch. Here we go. I'll move you guys out of the way. All right. Hopefully this is an okay view. And heave. Oh. 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 You guys okay? It's just a flesh wound.
Your arm's off.
He'll be okay. All right, it's gone. What this does is it's gonna open everything up. It lowers the overall height of the tree so that it makes picking easier. It'll make pruning easier in the future. It makes treatments, if I'm spraying or doing other things, that's just going to be all easier on with this shorter tree versus the taller tree. So the cut is a little not square, so we'll also watch that and see. Like I said, the tree doesn't really hold any sentimental value for me, so I'm more than happy to experiment with it, see what happens. Yeah, no big deal. Now we just have to finish up the rest of the cuts. All right, so you can see that we have taken a significant amount off of this tree, and so chances are it is going to completely freak out.
No! No!
When it wakes up in the spring and just start sending shoots all over the place. That's okay. There were a lot of fruiting spurs on this tree that I did leave. I also didn't cut off all of the water sprouts on the tree, because again, I'm kind of learning you don't have to necessarily be afraid of those things. You can prune them back, which is what I did. I pruned down a lot of them that were growing straight up because I just didn't want them there, and I didn't want the tree to be that high. This is hopefully, as time goes by, going to be a much more traditional looking apple tree with a very open center. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate those who have been watching, and I hope that you'll consider subscribing to the channel and commenting and interacting with us here, asking questions, giving tips, all those sort of things. So very much appreciated. Have a good night.